It's Tennessee, it's Vanderbilt. Round number 2 and the final game of the regular season SEC tournament. Seeding implications are on the line.
You are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Happy Friday afternoon. Welcome into it, a little crossover. Locked On Vols. I am Eric Kane with Locked On Vandy's host, Corey Burton. A big basketball game in Knoxville coming up tomorrow. It's Vanderbilt. It's Tennessee to conclude the regular season and get ready to go for Nashville in the SEC tournament next week. This bonus show of Locked On Crossovers presented by the great people over at FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel's giving you a way to turn that energy into a bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. Head on over to FanDuel.com today to go ahead and get started. All right, the Volunteers won round 1 in Nashville, 69-65. Tennessee's 21-9 on the year, 11-6 in the SEC. Vanderbilt 23-7. 10-7. You look at the SEC standings, and it's a big one. Again, Tennessee enters this matchup in 4th place in the league. You win. Tennessee gets a double bye. Vanderbilt, you win, pulling into a tie with Tennessee. And then, of course, Missouri, Texas A&M, Kentucky are also tied. So there's a lot of different scenarios for Vanderbilt. But for Tennessee, you win, you get a double bye. So a lot to play for. And, of course, it'll be senior day in Knoxville. So Tennessee's going to be amped up. For Vanderbilt, tell me what all's on the line outside of seeding. I mean, what does Vanderbilt want to get out of this game before heading to the SEC tournament?
Well, first and foremost, Eric, you don't want to get swept. Either team doesn't want to get swept in this series, and that's important. It's important for us to upset your senior day there. That would be a joy for us. And honestly, it's just we're in the tournament. I don't think there's going to be too much movement seeding-wise. I think we're kind of where we are. So I don't think there's huge implications. Like if we lose, it's not a huge deal as far as seeding goes, but you want to be in a good place heading into postseason play as far as confidence. Like Tyler Nickel, he's been ice cold for a long time. Like he has been struggling to hit shots for, the last 6 games. And he needs to get back on track. This team needs to get back on track. I mean, Tyler Tanner had 34 points against Ole Miss on Tuesday, but not much else happened. It was one of those like ugly games that Vanderbilt somehow won. I'm not sure how they pulled it off. They just got hot at the right time, I guess. But it's a game that Vanderbilt just needs to figure out. Like, did they learn anything from the Tennessee game in round 1 of the series? What do they carry over from that matchup? Can they apply it, and can they win on the road? And that's something that, Thompson Bowling Arena is a tough place to play. Tennessee's already a good team, and y'all finished extremely well in the first matchup. So you just got to overcome some of that stuff. As far as implications, there's not a whole lot of implications, but as far as like being able to take advantage of your seeding and be able to take advantage of your placement in the tournaments, that's what you're playing for.
Yeah, I mean, I can be honest with you. I don't know where you stand, Corey, but like to me, it's like the SEC tournament. Okay, I mean, it's like this in baseball too, which Hoover is amazing, and I love the SEC baseball tournament. I think it's awesome, but like it's like this is not. Tony Vitello used to say this all the time. It's like, I mean, this is cool. It's a spectacle. We want to win it, but this is not what's important. Like next week is what's important, and going to the NCAA tournament is what's important, because especially the SEC tournament with the conference championship game happening on Sunday, the selection committee has proven year over year over year that they don't take that Sunday game in consideration. What you do up to Sunday, they do, but what happens on Sunday, they don't care. They make those decisions on Saturday night. So honestly, I mean, Tennessee won in 2022, the first time since 1979, and it was cool. Don't get me wrong. But, the conference tournament, is what it is. But at the same time, if Tennessee wins this game, they start on Friday, and they're just 2 wins away from playing on Sunday. So that's kind of cool. I think more than anything, you're right. Tennessee's obviously in the dance. They're on that 5 line right now. I don't know what they need to do to move up to the 4. They could probably slip down to the 6 if they go 1 and done.
I don't know there's much they can do unless they blow out Vandy and they blow out their first 2 games in the tournament. I don't think there's much they can do to get to the 4 seed. I feel like it's pretty well locked in. I think Vandy is also pretty well locked into that 5-6 range. So that's going to be, I mean, I don't think there's much that can change there.
So really, more than anything, I think you're playing, number one, Tennessee's playing for the seniors. You're playing for pride. Like, this is your rival. This is your in-state. Like, again, you mentioned Vanderbilt does not want to get swept. Tennessee wants to do the sweeping, wants to win at home. This will be the last time you're playing in this arena for, about 9 months or whatever. So I think a lot of that's going to be on the line. There's always a lot of juice and a lot of emotions when you're playing Vanderbilt. So I think that's exciting. Also, for Tennessee, Nate Ament, he got hurt first half of the Alabama game last Saturday. Tried to come back, played 2 minutes in the second half, and then he was done. He didn't play on Tuesday against South Carolina when Tennessee put the whooping on a really, really bad South Carolina team. Sometime today there will be an update on Nate Ament, but don't know if he's going to play in this game. And Corey, if Nate Ament does not play in this game, even if he does, I bet his minutes will be down. I'm not going to say he's rusty because he's not missed that much time, but that's a big focal point in this game because you mentioned how Tennessee finished really well in that first meeting. Nate Ament was a massive reason why they finished so strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And that'd be a huge advantage for Vanderbilt if he's not playing or if he's limited even because, the effects that he had in the latter part of that game was outstanding. And when your best player is down, I mean, we learned that with Tyler Tanner when he had the flu against who was it against? I can't even remember who it was against at this point, but he had the flu in one of those games and he was, just barely scraping by. And it was one of the losses where you're like, man, if he was healthy, we probably win that game. But, the other guy's got to step up. But it's going to be tough. And I wonder from both sides where there's not – you're kind of just cruising to the finish. Like, besides pride, is there going to be a lot of juice in this game? Like, that's the thing I wonder.
I think there will be for Tennessee's side, and maybe that'll kind of carry them a little bit to at least getting off to a good start. That's never been Tennessee's problem. Tennessee gets off the good start. It's holding double-digit leads in the second half. Tennessee blew 2 of those games to Kentucky, blew a game to Missouri. Mississippi State went on an 18-0 run in the second half against Tennessee, blew one to Alabama. Tennessee led by 12 at one point. Alabama led for 25 seconds. They found a way to win. Tennessee trying to hold on to leads. It's not been good in the second half. So for Tennessee, sure, I'm sure there'll be emotions and some juice early on. They'll get off to a lead. It's about holding and sustaining, and that's something that obviously Tennessee's going to try to do in this one. When we come back, other keys to the game, players to look out for, what have you done lately, and what this win can mean for each respective team. That's coming up next. We continue on here this Friday afternoon. Locked On Crossover, Locked On Vols meets Locked On Vandy. College basketball is nonstop. Corey and I are talking about a big matchup tomorrow, Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night. From early tip-offs to late nights on the West Coast, shootouts, there's always action on the board. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into a bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. So you can do that with college basketball, women as well. You have NBA happening right now. Don't look now, baseball season's coming up, NASCAR's on the weekends. Like, there's always something happening that you can put some coin in your pocket in this basketball season, the rest of the college basketball season, with that big tournament coming up here in a couple of weeks. You can do it with a parlay profit boost. Head on over to FanDuel.com to get started today. That is FanDuel.com. FanDuel, where you can play your game. FanDuel, where you can play your game. And to tell you about our friends over at TurboTax, Corey, take it away.
Yeah, it's tax season, and guess what? You don't have to be stressed out. It's tax time for a lot of us. The old way of doing taxes is, well, it's a lot. Trying to book an appointment that's not the most convenient, sitting in a waiting room with a stack of papers, emailing back and forth, wondering if they really get your situation. All of that. You can all relate to that. But this year, it's getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app right on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar you deserve while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's the relief of walking in and meeting a real person and walking out knowing your taxes are being handled right. So head to TurboTax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment. Eric, I'm excited about this 5-hour energy. The flavor draft is here. Tell me about your favorite flavor. Who's your pick for the number one flavor of 5-hour energy?
Oh man, there's so many great ones to choose from. I like to go kind of OG routes on a lot of these things, kind of plain Jane, if you will. Watermelon, that's a basic flavor, but it's anything but basic. This 5-hour energy shot when you pick watermelon, cool, crisp, caffeinated, juicy watermelon, candy style flavor, light, refreshing sweetness. It's subtle but clean with notes of fruit. It is fantastic. Watermelon's one of my favorite, if not watermelon. I like the peach mango, right? Peach flavor on the first sip. Those are kind of the two that I'm leaning towards in this 5-hour energy draft. What about you?
Man, you know what? Well, I'm getting ready to head to the beach, so I'm kind of got a beach vibe going. So Hawaiian breeze. I'm not going to Hawaii, but I am going to the beach for spring break. And man, it feels the breeze, it tastes the caffeine. It's made with passion fruit, orange, guava. What's not to love about those flavors? It's sweet yet smooth, tangy yet tart. But Eric, I'm intrigued by this confetti craze because I'm just curious, and I haven't had it yet, but I'm curious to see how they make that birthday cake flavor. Because when it comes to like birthday cake flavored ice cream, I love it. But I'm curious about what it tastes like as a 5-hour energy shot.
Yeah, birthday cake flavored cake, ice cream, milkshakes, 5-hour energy shot. Sign me up. I want to try that one as well. 5-hour energy shots, a boost with zero sugar. Find your new favorite flavor of 5-hour energy shots available online at 5hourenergy.com. And you can also check it out on Amazon. That's 5hourenergy.com. Get Locked On Vols and Locked On Vandy ad-free with the Everydayer Club. LockedOnVols.supercast.com, LockedOnVandy.supercast.com. Join the Everydayer Club, $5 a month, audio or ad-free audio version, plus so much more. Locked On Vols and LockedOnVandy.supercast.com. All right, so Corey, Nate Amen, obviously I think is the biggest domino in this game. I mean, a guy that's going to be a lottery pick, went down again in the Alabama game, was a complete non-factor, and Tennessee led the entire game and still lost by 2. I mean, it's just so frustrating. You held Alabama to 71 points. So frustrating. Kind of like one of those games where you're talking about, the guy that had the flu, and you're like, if he was just a little bit healthy, you win that game easily. That was, Tennessee last week. Didn't play against South Carolina. Rick Barnes said he's very confident he's going to play again this season. It's a right knee, right ankle type situation. At practice earlier in the week, he didn't practice, but he was not in a walking boot or anything. Looked like he was moving around fine. So we will see if he plays in this game. Regardless if he plays or he doesn't, Jacoby Gillespie has got to be that guy. He's one of the best. I think, honestly, Jacoby Gillespie is one of the most underrated players, not only in the SEC, but in the country. Like, he's a scoring first point guard, but the way he's been distributing has been phenomenal. He had 12 assists the other night when South Carolina just tried to take his point production away. And thankfully, with Nate Amen out, you had JP Estrella, Felix Akpara, 2 big guys down low just going at it. And he just lobbed it up to him, threw it down there to him, and he had 12 assists easily. He's tied his program record, 8 steals in a game a couple different times this year. He's an all-around type player. So even if Nate Amen's playing for Tennessee, Jacoby Gillespie is going to have to be big. He's a Tennessee boy. He's a senior. The only year in the program. Hello, College Athletics 2026, right? But he grew up an hour away from the arena. This game's going to mean a lot to him for sure. Jacoby Gillespie's going to have the big game, but also JP Estrella, you hope it will continue to bring some front court scoring as well. Who's got to play well? I feel like it's the Tylers for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, definitely the Tylers for sure. But a key factor that his first game back was the Tennessee game, round 1, which is Duke Miles. He returned back against Tennessee. He was rusty, a little bit limited because he came off the bench. They were trying to just kind of ease him back in there and with his minutes and things. But he's full go now. He started against Ole Miss, had double digits. I mean, he's getting back in the groove of things and allowing the front court to kind of rotate through between Jalen Washington, A.K. Okirike, and Devin McLaughlin. Now, both of those guys, Okirike and McLaughlin, fouled out against Ole Miss. I think everybody fouled out at some point. They were about to put the managers in to end the game in overtime against Ole Miss. But if Vanderbilt can stay out of foul trouble, for sure, they have a problem with that, especially McLaughlin. He's a bull in a china shop. But if he can get going, he'll be good. A.K. Okirike can for front court players, he can handle the ball the best as far as getting it to the top of the key and driving, and he can hit a 3 or 2. here and there, and he's got a good shot, and he's a good player, but he's also very streaky. So outside of the two Tylers, I think if Duke Miles has a big game and he can stay out of foul trouble, that's going to be a factor for Tennessee, and that's going to be a factor for Vanderbilt in getting that momentum. It takes a little bit of pressure off Tyler Tanner. It maybe allows Tyler Nickel to get back in his role of spotting up, and they can create some open looks for him. Maybe he can get hot. That's the hope right there. But if he can't get hot, it's typically been trouble for Vanderbilt because they can't get a consistent 3-point shot. They shot terribly against Ole Miss, 39%, somehow won that game. But they have to shoot better, obviously, better than 39%. And I think they have to get north of probably 35% on from 3-point land. So, but yeah, it finished strong against Tennessee. We learned that, Tennessee had a great front court. You just wore down on Vanderbilt, and a couple guys got in foul trouble, and it got real dicey there in the final 3 or 4 minutes. And Mark Byington, for whatever reason, got badly outcoached, and that's not like him. Rick Barnes basically took him to school in the first matchup, so I'm hoping he's got something better lined up this time around.
Tennessee, the last couple of games, not gotten to the foul line a lot. A lot of fans would argue not getting a favorable whistle, but when it's a couple of games in a row, you're taking 9, 10, 11 free throw shot. When Nate Ament's in there and he's going wild, he's getting to the line himself 12 times, right? And so I think Tennessee needs to get to the charity stripe more. Tennessee's not been shooting or making a lot of threes in the last week or so, 3-4 games. Not necessarily, that's not been Tennessee's MO, but typically they make, 5, 6, 7 threes a game. They've not really even attempted a ton, more than that. They've not really even attempted a ton here lately. So they've been relying a lot on just the 2-point baskets. And so we'll see if that changes. If Nate Ament is in the lineup, how often does he get to the line?
Manage his minutes. Yeah, that's going to be a key for Tennessee. Is I think for when you have a guy that's limited like that, I don't think Mark Byington limited Tyler Tanner's minutes very well, and I think the flu game was actually Tennessee. He didn't manage his minutes very well, and he got exhausted, and down the stretch he was pretty much useless because he was just exhausted and dead.
So we'll see what happens. Big game coming up, Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Again, if Tennessee wins, it secures a spot in the double bye. If it loses, it needs Missouri and Kentucky to also lose. If Vanderbilt wins, it moves into a complicated, probably 3 or 4-way tie.
Needs a calculus equation for sure.
Try to get in that double bye, but nonetheless, these two teams trying to end the regular season on a high note before the SEC tournament gets going. Then, of course, March coming up as it continues on with the tournament. Real quick before I let you go, we normally do this on Tuesdays, but I've got to slide in here and just say, hey, you okay? What's going on with the Vandy boys? Huh?
Well, they finally got back on track on Wednesday. They finally got a win, and they about had a brawl after the game. But, dude, I've never seen them they all of a sudden just fell off a cliff and couldn't hit.
Tennessee's having some issues offensively right now. The loss to Central Arkansas, that's a midweek game. Midweek baseball is not real baseball, but when you were out and was it Vegas? Yeah, it was Vegas.
That was
UC
brutal.
Irvine, Arizona, Oregon, and you guys combined for 9 runs in 3 games. Tennessee combined for 12 runs in 3 games. So it's not like Tennessee's offense is being much better. But yeah, it's just weird. And again, this is early season. It's not like it doesn't matter, but it's certainly not the end of the world. I saw a 5-game losing skid, 4-game losing skid for Vanderbilt, and it's just weird to see.
Yeah, it's concerning because your bullpen, you have the same issues. Runners in scoring position, all of a sudden became an issue. I think we left an entire city out there on the base pass over the weekend in Vegas. It just felt like they were just kind of going through the motions or whatever. I don't know, but they're in the middle of a 10-game homestand, so maybe they'll get something right. They get North Dakota State this weekend, so that might get them back on track. Get LSU coming in next weekend. So, you start off the conference slate on a really easy note, right? Jeez, man. But yeah, it's the struggle bus is real. I'm hearing people comparing Tim Corbin to Dabo Sweeney as far as not adapting to portal life and things. I don't know if that's necessarily fair, but
I know Vanderbilt had a right-handed pitcher last year that Tennessee very, very, very much wanted out of the transfer portal. His last name, I think, was Borker, but he was a pitcher. But I don't know what his name was. Anyway, Vanderbilt has gotten some guys out of the portal. So.
Yeah, he was pretty good, but the bullpen was a killer last year.
It's funny. So Tennessee baseball has Wright State at home, and then they're in Athens to begin SEC play. They'll have Missouri here, and then Tennessee goes to Nashville for the third week in SEC play. And I'm already starting to try to get my travel arrangements together because I'm gonna go and cover that series. So that'll be fun. We'll talk more baseball on Tuesday's squad show, but Tennessee basketball, Vanderbilt basketball, massive game coming up tomorrow in Knoxville. And if you want more coverage leading into the game, reaction after the game, for the Vanderbilt side, check out Corey Burton, Locked On Vandy. From the Vols side, check out Locked On Vols. I am Eric Kane, and we'll have plenty of coverage every single step of the way. For Corey, I'm Eric. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Peace.